KEYSHA E. First of all, thank you for even doing this and being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I talk a lot about stand-up comedy with a lot of my comedian friends. You and I have had a lot of conversations about comedy. I have happened to have known you before you even did comedy. What took so long? You've always been so funny. What took so long for you to get into stand-up?
The funny thing is that it was never a part of the plan. I never wanted to do stand-up.
Really?
Never.
Like you used to be at my comedy shows laughing. And I'm like, yo,
I
what's
like
up?
comedy. Like I would go watch comedy, but it was never a part of my plan. First of all, I didn't. I'm not going to say now because I am a comedian now. I don't think I'm funny. Like, oh, we ain't going to her show. I never felt like I was funny. Like, people would laugh, and I would be like, I don't know, what's wrong with y'all? Like, I'm dead ass serious. Y'all silly. So it was just never a part of the plan. It was a dare. So I was like, if you dare me to do something where I won't get pregnant or die.
Where I won't get
I'll probably do it.
or die.
Yeah, like, that's my limit. But other than that, it was a dare. They were having this amateur night, and I was like, whatever, I'll do that shit. But
You're so funny. Like, it's not the kind of funny where it's like, because everybody who knows me knows I hate goofy people. I am not a fan of goofy people. But you are funny. And it's like, yo, like when you started doing comedy, I'm like, why now and not before? So tell me, life now as a new comedian, what is it like? Like, first of all, you're on fire right now. You just filmed two back-to-back TV appearances. You were so funny the first time. They brought you back. So what is it like now? What is the dynamic of being just not only, I guess, new, but in a city that's not home? Like, you from Detroit and being out here in L.A. as a new comedian. Give it to me.
It's interesting. I think that, lucky for me, I would say, because I have known so many comedians before I started doing comedy, like with you, a lot of comedians that I knew prior to me doing comedy just from being in LA or through somebody else, that has helped a lot because I've been able to hit them up directly, like, yo, hey, I got this question about this. Because it's completely different than acting.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole other world. I'm like, what? So it's very interesting. It's definitely a game of proving yourself, I see. Because the first question people hit you with is like, how long you been doing comedy?
Yeah.
So when you say 10 minutes or 2 months, it's like they don't even want to talk to you.
No.
It's like, damn, you haven't even seen me. You haven't seen my set. You don't even know. So
let me tell you why. For me, I'm not like that, but I remember being treated like that, and I remember the reasoning why. People have seen so many bad comedians and so many people that don't take it serious that when you meet somebody who's brand new and they want like advice or they're like, yo, I'm about to do this, it's hard because you're like, yo, if I give you this advice, will you be here 5 years from now? And do you respect this craft enough to take it serious? Or are you just in it to be like, yeah, I told a couple jokes, but now I want to be famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that community, in that regard, that's usually what it is on why people treat new comedians like that, because to this day, I don't really speak to a lot of newer cats unless, one, I find that I feel that they're serious, or they've been doing it an amount of time to where I'm like, okay, this person isn't going anywhere. But you know the difference. Like, I can see somebody who's been doing it for a month and be like, they're going to be here. And then you see the people that have been doing it for 5 years, and you be like, they about to give up soon. Let me not talk to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now for me, tell me about what was it like your first TV appearance, which was Funny AF on Revolt TV. What was that feeling? Did you feel like, I'm ready for this? Or were you like, I don't know if I'm ready?
I felt like I was ready for it. I think also going back to how I started doing stand-up, I think because it was a dare and it was never a part of my plan, it was never my dream, like, I've always been passionate about acting. So when I go on an audition, it's like, fuck, I want to make sure, you know, I may be slightly nervous even still. You know, it's like, I want to book this. It's important to me. I want to be great at it, right? I feel away when I leave the room. It's like, what could I have done differently? So with stand-up, it was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not trying to be a comedian. Yeah, I do this shit. Whatever. So I did that show.
KEYSHA.
And because of the way it initially happened, it was like, okay, well, now there's no reason for me to ever be nervous when I get on stage. So when I did Revolt, it was a few feelings. I was very thankful and grateful for the opportunity in general. It was that feeling of like, damn, how am I here? I don't even, how is this even happening? Like, I think I made an Insta story that was like, when dreams you didn't know you had unfold. Like, so not at all in a cocky way of like, oh, I'm ready for this shit. But I felt very confident in it. Because at that point I had been doing it for a little bit. Yeah. And I just really trust myself, and I trust the gift that God has given me. Like, again, how it all started is like, yo, this is just a gift. You know what I mean? Like, you have to work on it. You have to fine tune it. You got a long way to go. Yeah. But it's a natural gift, you know, so use it. So I felt really good about it. It was just that surreal type feeling like, am I really about to? Yeah. What? This is crazy. Okay.
A major shout out to Robin Laddicker Johnson. I'm about to say Jones. Ooh, she'd have killed me. Robin Laddicker, Monica Boyd, the entire team at Revolt. Amazingly talented, amazingly hardworking women. So now you come back for year 2. Now what is it? It's like, oh man, I can't do the same jokes from last time. Right. But what's up? Like, what is this feeling coming back this year?
Coming back this year, honestly, I feel like this was probably, and like I said, I've always felt comfortable on stage just because of how it happened. But it was a different feeling. When I got off stage, it was like, I don't know if I thought I was popping. They had me looking cute. I don't know what it was. Yeah. But it was like, I was just so very, very comfortable. And I feel like, I oftentimes hear people say, find your voice. Right. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you've had the same voice for 37 years of my life. What? So I felt like I really understood what it meant when I got off stage that time because it was, I can't really explain it. Like, okay, when I get on stage, most of the time, somewhere within my set, I mention Detroit, right? So you'll know, like, okay, she's from Detroit. Yeah. But off top, you might not, because I don't typically do, like, the, dick sucking jokes. I don't do. Jesus. I'm just going to get right to it. I don't. Jesus. I don't play, like, the ratchet girl. I don't do that, right? So sometimes, if I don't say I'm from Detroit, you may not know where she's from,
Same here.
But I felt like this second season, like, when I got on stage, you're like, oh, she from Detroit.
Oh, that's Detroit all day.
Like, it was, because I just felt like I just really dropped into, like, I don't know. I can't explain it. It was just really, really comfortable. I felt really good about my set. I felt really, it was just a great feeling. It was just a really great feeling.
You deserve it. Like, congratulations. It's not.
Thank you.
I learned this early on in stand-up. Different people have different dues to pay. I learned that from Howie Bell, who is Detroit royalty.
Shout out to Howie Bell. He just we did a show.
Keys to the City in Detroit, which is a great name. First of all, that is branding incredibly. There was a comedian who blew up in Detroit. And there were so many comedians that were angry, like, man, why he get the movies? Why he doing all of that? Not realizing that everybody has different paths to go, but also they looked at it like, in a lot of cities in stand-up, they're still going off the old blueprint, which is you do stand-up for an amount of years, you start headlining, then you get on TV, and then hopefully you go to movies and all of that stuff. But that's no longer how it's been. It's literally been, you find a way in. Maybe you get on a TV show. Maybe your radio show pops. Now the internet. You might blow up on the internet. So there's no more waiting in line. It's about you finding your audience and your audience coming to support you. So within that, it became, you can't feel that somebody isn't paying their dues because they're not the same dues that you paid. Yeah. Different people have different dues to pay. So with you've been acting forever, and it's like you get into stand-up and it's another way to be seen. Then it's like, oh, wow, she's funny. She has a great look, a great energy, and she seems to be professional because you got the professional from your work life and from acting. So it's like, oh, perfect fit. And everything kind of happens at once. Now, this is a conversation that I was so glad I finally worked up the courage to ask you. This was like maybe 6 months ago. I was like, KEYSHA, how do you make money? And you were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, I keep seeing you go on like these crazy trips, or you'll be hanging out and I'll never see you be like, oh, I just got off work. I'm like, what are you doing for money, yo? And you're like, oh, commercials. And I'm like, oh. And it was like, I didn't want to be in your business, but I'm like, how? What is going on?
It's so funny though, because I get that question a lot.
Yo, like, what is
when
she
you
doing?
Ask it, I can tell, like, he been wanting to ask this for a minute. Like, yeah. It was funny, but yeah, commercials are a great way to make good money. It's fast. You go in and you audition on a Monday. It might shoot the following week.
Yeah.
It runs whatever you shoot for 5 hours. So, and then because I started off with acting anyway. So that was like, I started booking commercials probably before anything else.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's been, I've been thankful. It's been really good, you know.
You're a great act. Like I noticed this the first time you came to shoot with me. I'm like, yo, you really have chops. Like, because I hadn't been able to see. And it's funny that after I start talking to you more, I see more commercials of yours. But it was like before, I'm like, I don't see her in the acting realm, but she's so good. Where's she getting so good? And it's like to see this, like your talent and opportunity are just this. And I'm telling you, the next thing, you're out of here, yo. Like you're really good and without trying, which is very hard to do. Like you make it seem extremely natural. I'm like, when I'm acting, I'm always like... And then I said, they're like, get away from the mic. Oh, my God. And then I said, stop looking at the camera. I'm a bit like, yeah. So to find people who are natural is incredible. What would you say are some of your dream roles that you would like to do, given the opportunity?
Given the opportunity, dream roles. I definitely want to play like a CIA agent.
Oh, yeah.
Like I want to do a Black Angelina Jolie, like Salt type thing.
Yeah, which needed a sequel.
Yeah, I do agree. I agree. I love Salt. Love and basketball type of role. I used to play sports
you're that though.
Growing up, so
like you're when I look at you, I see because you wear the hats in the back sometimes. It's like you're the basketball girl.
Yeah,
Keep going.
The ultimate homegirl.
Yeah.
Keenan pinned me ass. That's one of my dream roles, just to be able to combine the two. Because basketball was really like my first love. What would be another dream role? Definitely a comedy. Obviously, I want to do a comedy. I love drama, though. You
are really, like, believable.
I really want to do drama.
I feel like if you do comedy, the first comedy thing you have to do, you have to write it. So people can get your sensibilities on camera with acting as far as the comedy. But drama, you got this. You did I don't know if it was just a print ad or a commercial, but you were playing a mother and the wig Barbara that you have.
Book and Barbara. Shout out to Book and Barbara.
Yo, that baby. And it's like your look. I'm like, this is believable.
It was like post-traumatic stress syndrome. It was an ad for Sage. What's crazy is that, because you mentioned about acting, you was like, I haven't seen her.
Yeah.
I've actually, even though I started off with acting, it's been a journey. Like, just this past month, I've gotten with a really good agency.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so they've gotten me out just even in the past couple weeks, like back to back. But prior to, I just wasn't going out, so I wasn't being seen. And even when I met with them, they were like, "Tell me about your auditions." I was like,
"What you mean?"
Auditions? He was like, "You're not going out? Are you fucking kidding me? You're not going out?" And I'm like, "No." So, comedy, I've gotten more opportunities through comedy.
Yeah.
That are now, and so now that's rolling over to acting. And so that was another reason why I continued to do it. And then I was like, dang, I like this. I love it. And I started falling in love with it. And I was like, it's another opportunity to be seen.
Yes.
And so I have gotten acting opportunities off of comedy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy how
you're
things
naturally,
work out.
I think your greatest gift is how easy you make it look. Like when I'm watching you perform, the microphone is in your hand, but I'm just listening to you talk because you're not making it seem like it's unbelievable that this stuff has happened to you. And it's like you're telling these stories and they're amazing. And then when I see the acting, it's this physical and this is just what it is. I'm like, I had no idea she was a murderer. Like, that's crazy. So for me, when we talk about the business, there's so many ups and downs in it. What are some things that you do to get over those downs?
To get over the downs. Good old-fashioned working out. Go for a jog.
Good old-fashioned working
out. Go for a run. You look up, you're like, I'm 5 miles away from home, right? Going home helps a lot. I go home. I've kind of fell back a little bit because I used to go home like every other month, every holiday.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Day.
Martin Luther King?
Family barbecuing. What? Holidays, I gotta be at home.
Martin Luther King Day.
Martin Luther King Day. Like, I used to go home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's Flag Day, bitch. I got to go home.
And that's how I would go home for Thanksgiving, and I would stay to Christmas, right? Because the ticket is so expensive. Why I come back and go right back.
Yeah.
But then, so it's like Thanksgiving. My dad's birthday is December 15th. My brother's birthday is December 16th. Christmas is December 25th. Yeah. Then it's New Year. Yeah. Then my mama's birthday January 11th. So I know you don't think you're going back home after you've been here for everybody's birthday. Then it's Martin Luther King Day. We're barbecuing. Uncle Mel putting something on the grill, right? So you look up, like, my little brother's birthday, February. When am I going back to LA?
When am I in LA, bro?
So, but that really helps, just going home and just being with my family, recharging, and just being in a place that's just chill. Yeah. It's like,
and the cost
of
living.
Regular conversations.
Cost of living is cheap.
You know, it's like get you a good old Superman ice cream. Ooh, awesome. But really just taking that time to break away from the industry. Yeah. Even sometimes when I have conversations with people, it'd be like, yo, how you doing? Like, oh, I'm good. I just, I booked something and that's great. Or I had an audition. It's like, okay. Yeah. How are you doing? Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just like taking a second to just detach. Yes. Like, we are more than actors and comedians. Yeah. We're more than just the industry. And like you said, because it has so many ups and downs, it's like sometimes you just need a minute. Facts. Also, just really realizing, and this is another thing, because I went in for this show. The show remained nameless.
Gotta remain nameless.
This is my 6th time now. So I'm like, okay, what we doing here,
what we
right?
doing now? Y'all know who it is.
And really love the show, like genuinely love the show. So I definitely want to be on it, right? And casting directors love me. Like, they fuck with me. But I'm not. I'm like, yo, what is happening? Last audition I had, I walked in, and normally I'm like, I could have did this better. I could have did that. I was in the waiting room watching Keke Palmer videos, cracking up, because I'm like, I got this, right? Yeah. Go in, I kill it, I feel it, I kill it. I normally don't feel like I kill it. Casting director was like, damn, that was so good. I'm like, okay. He was like, but you just don't look like you can play 30. It's like,
oh, what? But you killed it.
What?
You did kill it.
Realizing that so much is out of your control. Yes. And so when I realized that, then the pressure kind of comes off from being like disappointed that you didn't book something or, those different feelings. And then surrounding yourself with good people.
Let me hit you with this. Things that are out of your control. I'm going to give you this, and this helped me tremendously. Watching your interview, Wesley Snipes. He had just done Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy, and they're doing like this roundtable discussion. And Wesley was like, hey, man, he's like, I'm very honored because he's going to be in a new Coming to America. He's like, I'm very honored that you allowed me to be in Coming to America as well. I actually auditioned for the first Coming to America, and I didn't get it. And I was so crushed that Eric LaSalle got my role. And I was like, man, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? And Eddie Murphy said, oh, you were too close to my type. That's all that was. And I'm like, I'm watching this mind blown, and Wesley was like, that was he was like, I'm so glad to know that, because I was beating myself up. Like, what could I have done better? And a lot of times you can't do anything better. It's just something that you can't change.
It helps so much when you understand that, because at first I didn't understand that. And it's 2 other things I went out for where I got a call directly, and I was like, oh, this is mine. I'm getting it. Didn't get it, and I was like, what? And then I watched it, and I was like, a little birdie told me something.
Not a birdie.
Like, a little birdie, And I was like, but why, right? Yeah. And then I watched it, and I was like, I get it, because the character I went out for it's a group of friends, but in your group of friends you had that one friend you're closer to. Yeah. Right? So it's always her with this other character, and I was like, we're too much the same type. I get it makes sense now, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna let it go, which is why it's just so important to book the room. Right. I don't even worry about the role.
I'm booking them rooms.
I've gone in sometimes. I went in one time for a role to play this character's older sister, who
it's a rap.
In real life, I am older than him, but I was like,
Doesn't matter.
Do not look older than him.
No.
She has a teenage daughter in the scene. Yeah. I look like the teenage
daughter.
Like
Can we switch
He's dark
sides?
complected, right? In real life, my brother, same mama, same daddy, is dark skin. Yeah. But on TV, I was like, I'm never getting this role. Yeah. But I'm going in so this casting director can see. Yeah. And so just realizing, like, some of the things we beat ourselves up about is just so.
And what you have that a lot of people don't have, first of all, you look like you're 22 years old, which is giving you 7 years. Now,
7?
It's giving you 7 years.
We're going to roll with that.
So, what's 22 minus 7?
Right?
No.
He give me a compliment, I'm going to roll with it.
I'm saying you look young as a teenager on the legal side, but you're an adult. But it's like you look so youthful, and a lot of people will never get that. So it's a great problem to have, especially with you could do so many different networks. You could do a Disney. You can go do something where you're playing somebody's child that you're older than, and to be able to have that longevity is so unheard of. This is my question. I know dating is hard for you out here in LA, but what is the worst date you've ever been on?
In life, you're saying? Okay, I was like in LA.
In life, huh?
Hasn't happened yet. The worst date I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't really think I've been on any bad date. I went out with this guy. It wasn't bad. It was just he was just weird a little bit. Like we went to high school together and we connected like afterward, like years later, and we went out. And I think that he was going through a period of time in his life where some things just may not have been working, and he just, you know how some people just like he seemed very jaded kind of, and I was like, okay. But that was it. This wasn't a date. I had a hangout that blew my mind. And it was out here. So I've never been on a date in LA. You know this. I joke about this. People think it's a joke. It's real life. Whatever. But when I first moved here, I didn't know anybody. One of my friends from college, her best friend was here. So she linked us. I moved here. 3 days later, she moved to New York. Her job moved her to New York. But while I was in those 3 days, we hung out with some of her friends. Yeah. So I was like, okay, they seem like cool people. So the dude wasn't trying to like get at me. He was really just cool. So I was like, all right. So he was like, let's go grab some food, whatever. I'm like, cool. So he said, he texted me and was like, what time was I getting there or whatever? And I was like, oh, I'm picking you up. Okay, whatever. All right. Okay. I just figured I would meet you there, right? But okay, cool. So I pick him up, and he offered me to come inside, and I'm just like, why? Okay. So then we get ready to leave, because I was like, maybe we're just meeting there. Yeah. So then he comes to my car. I was like, oh, I'm driving. He was like, yeah, I mean, I'm paying. What's the problem? And I'm like, first of all, you don't have to pay for me. Number one.
Okay.
Secondly,
this guy.
Pipe down.
Yeah, not pipe down.
Little red Corvette, slow down. So what's weird is we actually lived, at the time I was staying with a friend. Uh-huh. We stayed a couple blocks from each other. Okay. In a very nice neighborhood. Yeah. He took me to this place in South Central, I think. Okay. Or directed me to this place in South Central. Which also had a restaurant right by where we stayed, so I didn't understand that. We pulled up, literally somebody had just got shot. It was like, ambulance. I was like, okay. So he was like, I mean, you're from Detroit, right? I was like, first of all, quit coming from my city, because... So we go in and order our food. Yep. Start talking. And he's like, he doesn't date black women.
Come on, fam.
So,
Come
it's a
on.
true story. He doesn't date black women. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, you know, because black women just be having babies.
What?
I was like, where do we get them from? The store? What do you mean? He was like, yeah, I mean, to me, it's just dumb. Why would you have a baby by somebody that's not going to be there to take care of the baby?
Oh, my God.
So I was like, well, I don't have any kids. I've never been pregnant. Yeah. I would assume the dude probably didn't say, hey, I'm going to leave if you get pregnant. Like,
yeah. Anybody get no heads up?
Maybe she just didn't want to have an abortion. Maybe he didn't dip until after the baby. What do you mean?
What do you mean, fam?
So he was like, yeah, I just feel like, you know, he was like, you can have a baby and then the daddy's a crackhead. And so I was like, I'm just sitting here. So he was like, do you know what it feel like not to have lights in your house? And I was like, no, I don't. He was like, you know what it feel like not to have food? I was like, nah, never. Like, so come to find out, he was talking about his mom. He said his mom should have had 3 abortions. I was like, how many siblings do you have? He was like, 2. I was like,
oh, so he didn't even want to be alive.
Crazy. So then he gets talking about he was in school, but he hasn't finished because his professor is a white woman and she doesn't want to see it. So I don't know what type of women he date, because you're mad at black women, you're mad at white women. Yeah. So then the waitress, he's getting loud at this point. So I was like, maybe this is, because my homegirl worked for BET. So I was like, and at the time it was what was that show that was out? It was kind of like a punk show.
Well, one was called Played by Fame. The other was called they brought punk back on BET.
It was similar to that.
Oh, Hell Date.
Hell Date.
Hell Date.
I was like, I see what this is, because now he's getting loud. People in the restaurant looking. The waitress don't want to come back over. So I was like, oh, this got to be a joke, right? Yeah. So the waitress finally tiptoes back over and was like, are y'all good? Do you need us to go play? I had like a corner of macaroni and cheese, like, you know, the like burnt. Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, you're not going to take that?
This guy.
He's like, you can put it on my plate. What is happening here? So then we leave, and he was like, you want to go to Santa Monica? No, it's like 7 o'clock. Sun then went down, like, so I can die?
From Compton to Santa Monica? So I can die.
So nobody can ever find me? Why would I? What? Then he was talking about, somehow we were talking about our siblings, and I said my little brother plays basketball. Why do black dudes feel like that's the only thing they can do? I'm like,
fam.
He's actually a really good student. He's actually really smart. He happens to be 6'5", and that he likes the sport. So yeah. It was just a lot. He had a lot of like.
That's a horrible date. Then what?
But that's the thing. It wasn't a date. We were just like cool.
No,
we was just
that was a date.
No, he was never really trying to get at me. He said he don't even date black women.
Listen to me. That was a date. Now what happened next?
I dropped that nigga. Oh no. So on the way back, he asked to stop at the gas station. So I was like, maybe he's gonna put some gas in my tank since he took me all the way to the other side of town, right? This motherfucker went in and got a bag of Funyuns and a fucking Black and Mild. When I tell you I didn't even come to a complete stop when I dropped him off at his house, like my car was still moving, like get out.
He didn't even offer you anything?
You know, all hood niggas be like, you want something from the gas station?
Right. You want something? All right, cool. He didn't do that.
So then I hit my homegirl the next day, and she was like, he doesn't even talk to her homegirl. This is his brother. She was like, he doesn't even talk to him. She was like, nobody. Like, he's kind of weird. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that. He was cool.
Wow.
He was like, let's hang out. I didn't know anybody. It was different.
Wow. So here's the thing. Couple issues right now. He hates his mother.
Yeah.
And I always say this when it comes to, I really hate hearing anybody put down black women. Mm-hmm. Like, and not just because I'm a black man. I would be annoyed if anybody put down people from any background, but more so black women because that's my community. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you date. I don't care who you're attracted to, but I'll be damned if you're going to put down black women because you're going through something. Now, if your preference is something else, fine, let it be that preference. But to put a black woman down by these ridiculous stereotypes because you hate your mother is something that you need to go through therapy for. And you, as a black woman, should not suffer for what his mother did to him. Now, me, I love black women because my mama black, my sisters are black. Like, I'm like, yo, black. And a black woman gets it. If you and I are out right now and something goes down, I'm going to look at you, you're going to look at me, and we get it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're out with an other, which is not to say that they won't get it as some, but as a majority, they won't. Mm-hmm. So you might get the same look to the other and be like, what? Something's on my face? You're like, okay, never mind. But what do you have coming up? How can we find you?
Coming up, I actually have a show Monday, the 23rd at Laugh Factory, 9:45 p.m. Me, Tony Rock, Earthquake, Trey Elliott. I'm in a film coming out.
Holla at your baby.
You know, a little Tyler Perry joint, just a little Felicia Rashad,
okay.
A little Cicely Tyson,
Rashad.
It's called A Fall from Grace, and it will be on Netflix on January 17th.
Congratulations. So, are you going to do, now even though it's on Netflix, and you're going to be posting, you're going to repost everybody showing, are you going to do a formal viewing party of it?
I don't think so, unless I go home. Like, that's something I really want to share at home.
Yeah.
I was talking to my mom. She don't understand it. She was like, so what time does it come on? I was like, Mama, it's on Netflix.
What time does it come on?
She's like, because I'm going to just leave. I'm like, Mama, you can watch it anytime. She's like, but I mean, it comes on. I was like, it'll probably be released midnight, Wednesday. Like, it's a Thursday.
Oh, I ain't going to be up that late. I can't.
Why would they air something at midnight? I was like, Mama.
Your mama's hilarious.
So if I were to go home, which I'm debating maybe, but I don't think so.
Do it. Commercials. You better go home, set it up, have your friends and family around, and y'all watch it. Just like, let me tell you something. If I've learned anything about being in this city, it's celebrating your wins. Mm-hmm. And it's a fine line between celebratory and bragging. Yeah. But the people who love you know that it's not bragging. They're celebrating you.
Yes.
And wins are so hard to come by out here that if you don't celebrate them, you won't get more. Mm-hmm. And do it with the people you love. Do one with your friends. Do one with the family. Just fully embrace that because it's an amazing accomplishment. And it's the first couple waves of many to come. So thank you so much for kicking with Clayton. Ladies and gentlemen, KEYSHA.